Well, hello there, and welcome to Coffee Clatch. I'm your hostess, Eppinese Estelle. Now you're asking, what is a coffee clatch? Well, that's where a group of friends and neighbors get together and they have their favorite beverage, and they have some fun and talk about everything under the sun. When your friends and family can't get a hold of you, you just tell them you're at the Coffee Clatch and invite them on in. They're always welcome.
Hello and welcome to Coffee Clatch. I'm your hostess, Eppinese Estelle, and I hope you're well. Oh my goodness, it has been so windy here lately. In March, I actually saw people on some semi-green grass flying kites. Now, I usually think of March as being kite flying weather. I don't know if that's, I don't know why, but anyway, that's what I do. And up north, you can sometimes see them flying their kites and stuff, but you always had to watch out for the snowbanks sometimes. Oh, so, well, the big news is the wedding, the royal wedding at the end of this month. I was looking through some of the things, and here's some tidbits that I ran across that I thought would probably be appropriate. So if you're game, here we go. A wedding dress today costs on average $1,000 and cannot be worn again because it's too fancy. Makes sense, right? Of course, yeah, back in the day. Anyway, while couples register for thousands of dollars of gifts, they may exchange those for cash later. Engraved invitations have never gone out of style, but in addition to the RSVP, some now say no gift wrapped gifts, please, which translates to just give us money. And here's one from Miss Manners circa 2005 that I thought was very interesting. And it says, quote, "All letters that begin, 'Never in my life have I been subjected to such,' fit into the category of letters that ought not to be written." Yeah, it's probably true. And this is Miss Manners' Guide to Excruciatingly Correct Behavior. And, you know, I love proverbs. You know, we've all heard, you know, so many of them, you know, the tortoise and the hare and all this stuff. Well, this is in regard to the weather. Now, I know it seems that scientists now are beginning to think twice about these proverbs and seeing that they quite possibly have some merit behind them instead of just folklore. And some of them, the proverb is, "Fish bite more before a storm." Now, my folks used to swear by this. I think most fishermen do. And I remember as a kid looking at the ponds and the rivers or whatever, and I could see the fish, you know, feeding, you know, right before a storm. Of course, you know, it's not a real good place to be if lightning should hit. But anyway, that's what, and there's a reason for this. They have actually proven that this is the reason that this is. It's when a low pressure system moves across an area, the air rises, and the cold air and water vapor present condenses, and you get rain or snow, which is basically Weather Facts 101. Lower barometric pressure releases gas bubbles from the decaying matter that's on the bottom. And so that rises to the top and it carries some of the debris with it. And the little fish follow that up, and guess who's on their tail? The bigger fish, ready to eat them. So that's kind of how it goes. The other proverb, which I thought was really kind of interesting: "Wind in the east, good for neither man nor beast." Now, the proof of this is that in the mid-altitude regions during the summer and winter, the prevailing winds blow from the west. And when the wind comes from the east, it signals a low pressure system, which usually is accompanied by precipitation. And this actual proverb dates back to the ancient Romans, who would not conduct business when the winds blew from the east. They thought that it made people more irritable and unsettled. Now, you can actually prove this to yourself. Animals, if you'll ever pay attention to the animals, even the birds will tell you this, they tend to flock together. But anyway, animals tend to get really goofy when it's getting ready to storm. It's like they're just nuts. And children will be more hyperactive during this time and more difficult to handle that right before a storm. And that's a proven fact. Perhaps this is maybe a remnant of times gone by that our survival depended on our ability to read these signs. And, you know, maybe it's a subconscious type thing for us humans to be able to go to shelter before a storm hit. Now, I was driving the other day. I know it's a scary thought. But I was going through the mall, and it was on a weekday. So, you know, it wasn't real horrible busy. But, you know, I was going up along the stores, the aisle that's up across close to the stores. Well, you're having to stop all the time and be very careful because there's people coming out of the stores. And they have designated walkways and such, pedestrian crossings. Well, you're supposed to stop. Okay, well, that's cool. But you see people come out, and it just happened to me. I was just like, what in the world? Okay, what happened? What happened was I saw two ladies coming from out of the store. And I saw about 2 or 3 ladies on my right-hand side getting, at the pedestrian walk. Well, these two, I'm going, okay, I'm going to have to wait for both of these groups of ladies to go by. Well, what happened was these 2 ladies coming from the store were meeting these ladies over here on my right-hand side. Well, they get in the crosswalk, and then they scatter like little birds. And they go running over here, and they're starting to mill about, and you don't know if they're going to come back across, or if they're going to step in front of you. You're just going, oh, please, I do. What are you doing? Please don't do this middle of the pedestrian walk, hugging and this stuff, because I don't know which way you're going to go, and I don't know. Sure as I go, and I'm gonna hit you, and oh, it's not gonna be pretty. But anyway, that was my dilemma. I hate that when that happens, don't you? Well, the best days in May, which is coming up, to quit smoking are May the 2nd, 24th, and 29th. To begin a diet to lose weight is May the 2nd, 24th, and 29th. To begin a diet to gain weight is May the 11th, 15th, and 16th. To cut hair to encourage growth, May 13th, 14th. To cut hair to discourage growth, May the 2nd, 29th, 30th, and 31st. The best days in May to have dental care are May the 11th and 12th. To start projects, May 4th and 5th. To end projects, the 1st and 2nd. Now, looking up to the sky, Saturn is now nicely up in the east at nightfall. Now, this is for the northern hemisphere. I apologize. And it's glorious to all that look up and see it all night long. From the 10th to the 13th, 35 minutes before sunrise, the residual planet party in Pisces is now more easily seen in southern locations. 10 degrees high from Miami, but a very low 4 degrees up from Middle America. On the 21st, in the same pre-dawn location, Venus, still fading, forms a challengingly low acute triangle with Mercury and dim Mars. The moon passes a good distance below Saturn on the 13th, and it stands near Scorpius's famous orange star Antares on the night of the 16th, and as a crescent floats just above the 5-planet grouping in the pre-dawn east on the 30th. Now, this is all from the Old Farmer's Almanac, and I hope to see you all at the next Coffee Klatch. That's all for now, and take care.